The XXL freshman list is kind of dumb, but it's also kind of genius at the same time. I obviously come from a more underground perspective, so you would think that a freshman list where a big company is essentially promoting underground or underappreciated talent to the mainstream would be great, but there's just too many flaws with it. Coming from the underground, when you look at the freshman list, you see the artists up there and you think that they're already famous. All those guys are getting millions of plays on all their streaming services. They have millions of followers. People really already know who they are. But to the mainstream, these people still need to prove themselves, because a lot of the hip-hop market, as much as little kids on the internet don't believe it, but a lot of them are older people that have jobs and have real lives that don't pay attention to the internet. So when you have all these upcoming artists, the internet already knows who they are, and those people are mega stars, but to the mainstream, to the traditional hip-hop market, they're still nobodies. And what happens every single year is you just have so many different people, and I've been one of them, that are just like, oh, this person should have made it, and this person doesn't belong there, and blah, 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 which makes it genius because people are talking, and people just talk about it, and people like myself and many other hip-hop YouTubers will make videos reacting to it, giving their thoughts, and that's what makes it so important, is because so many people talk about it. Now, I'm not going to go into who I think should be on the list, because that would just be kind of silly and obviously biased. XXL never really says why or how they go about choosing, because they put on their YouTube channel tons of people who deserve it or who are in the running, but then they end up picking the people which I think are arguably just the most popular, or the people that are just generally expected to be on the list. But from what I've seen so far, this year's list... sorry, dying. Probably because I didn't remind you to drink any water. It's a sign. This year's list actually didn't seem that bad, but let's take a look at it together.
Moving everything out my way. All the bad vibes gotta go. All of that pride gotta go. Is it gon' ride? I don't know. Kinda depressed most of these days.
A lot of the artists that are on the XXL freshman list this year actually came from the underground, which makes me very, very happy. And what I mean is, they actually worked for their spot, and they aren't just some sort of industry plant or any artist that was really just blown up by the industry. They actually grinded for their spot, even though they weren't some of the artists that I was covering because my channel's relatively new. But if you look back on a lot of these artists, you could find videos of them being promoted years ago. And I just can't emphasize on how important that is, and I don't know if XXL really pays attention to all that and if they really care about that, but it is nice to see that people who grinded through the underground actually did make it to the top. I know like the super underground people don't really care about the XXL freshman list, but I kind of wanted to just put my thoughts on it real quick. Let me know if you think I should make a underground XXL freshman list type video. It's gonna kind of get me into a sticky situation, but if you guys really want it, I gotta see like 50 comments at least of people saying it. Otherwise, I don't want to get myself into some controversy and piss some people off, because the whole idea of it is just kind of weird. Okay, so we got Blueface, Comethazine, Tierra Whack, DaBaby, Lil Mosey, Roddy Ricch, Ybn Chordae, YK Osiris, Rico Nasty, Gunna, and Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not gonna act like I know all these artists. I know most of them, so I'm really just gonna talk about the ones that I know. Honestly, the only ones I don't really know are Megan Thee Stallion and Tierra Whack. And I just haven't really paid that much attention to YK Osiris, but everybody else I'm pretty familiar with, and I do believe are well deserving of the spot. My two personal favorites of all of them are Roddy Ricch and DaBaby. I think that these two guys are career artists. I think that they got tons of potential and will have actually long careers. I don't see them falling off or just being another trend. Also, I want to talk about Ybn Chordae. As much as you guys probably don't think because of the music that you assume that I'm into, I think Ybn Chordae is really fire. He's super creative, he's very lyrical, he knows his hip-hop history, and he actually does it in a way that's not like corny or
annoying.
A lot of lyrical rappers these days just talk about how the new school sound is so whack and that lyricism is the best, but Ybn Chordae just doesn't even pay attention to that, and he does his thing. In a way, he's like slept on, even though he's on the XXL freshman list. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit. Getting a cosign from Dr. Dre, that means a lot, but Ybn Chordae is phenomenal, and I think that he's for sure a career artist and could outlast a lot of these guys. Comethazine, Blueface, and Lil Mosey I'm kind of iffy on. Blueface is hot right now, but his whole come up was super weird. He kind of blew up by being clowned on and then kind of turned that into him being like dope. He's just making the same songs, and I think that his hype around being offbeat, his corny jokes and stuff in his raps, it just, I don't know. It just seems like a giant meme to me, and I just don't know how much longer it can last. Lil Mosey is a young kid. I feel like he's got a lot of time to change and adapt. I mean, he did put in his work in the underground. A lot of people don't realize that, but putting out a lot of music even though he's so young. He's definitely dope, and I do listen to his music. I do respect an underground artist, but again, I'm not really sure with the future of him, but who knows? And then Comethazine has like crazy streaming numbers. I never really saw the appeal to Comethazine. He's got great songs, which I guess that's all that matters. He's never in any drama or any beef or any bullshit, which is awesome. He just kind of does his thing and makes his music, so I guess for that I do respect him. I also do see the potential for him to change up his sound and do different things, so who knows? Rico Nasty I feel like could really put on for the DMV. She's got a cool sound. I mean, I don't really have too much to say about her because I don't pay attention too much to her music, but she seems versatile enough, and she seems like she could provide a lot for the female rap community. Gunna, I feel like a lot of people have this same kind of feeling, whether they admit it or not, with the Atlanta sound and kind of being heavily influenced by Young Thug and some other artists. He definitely puts out a lot of slappers, a lot of big slappers, but it makes me wonder, because I don't really see the big difference between him and Lil Baby. Why did Gunna get it but not Lil Baby? Like, that kind of seems weird because they go hand in hand, but I don't know. Makes a lot of really good music. Again, I just don't know how much ability he has to adapt and change and to really create an original sound, but I guess for the mainstream, they really, really like it. I mean, he is a dope artist, but just one of those artists I feel like this about. And yeah, I am wondering why it says Lil Bibby, Billie Eilish, and Lil Yachty on the side. I guess those are different articles that are related to the magazine. Take my opinion with just a grain of salt. I don't really pay too much attention to these artists. I listen to some of their music, and then some of them I don't even know them at all. Kind of wanted to show you the perspective from somebody in the underground, what they think of the XXL freshman list. Otherwise, let me know what you think. Stay hydrated. My name is Patrick CC, and I'm out.